let us not crucify Linturi. Linturi is dying on behalf of the real thieves, and the real thieves are protecting him. We have information of the people who are behind Linturi, fake fertilizer scandal. I'm Professor Fred Ogola. I'm the leader of Linda Jamii, which is a civil society organization, umbrella body of all civil society organizations, religious organizations, and many other organizations which are for human rights, governance, and the rest. I have received this news today, newspapers, is the saddest headlines ever, that the farmers that were given fake fertilizer will never see justice, because it looks like Nthika Linturi is going to get away with the fake fertilizer scandal. And I want to tell you, I was not surprised. Though it's a sad headline, I'm not surprised. I said it before on KTN News, that impeaching Linturi is not the decision, because Linturi was, after all, someone's dog. Linturi was appointed by William Ruto. William Ruto should have asked him to resign. But if Linturi has a conscience, there are some farmers who will never ever find their soil to be the same after using fake fertilizer. There are some people who will be forever hungry for the whole year because of the missed harvest. There are some farmers who spend their hard-earned cash in buying them. Remember, some of them sold even their animals. Some of them even cut their trees, sold in firewood. Some of them worked for somebody to earn the little money to buy fertilizer. Some of them borrowed that money to buy the fertilizer with the hope that after they harvest, they can sell the fertilizer and could help them pay back the loan they borrowed. All that has gone to the wind. Yet the man who was at the helm of agriculture is going scot-free. But I want to tell you, let us not crucify Linturi. Linturi is dying on behalf of the real thieves, and the real thieves are protecting him. We have information of the people who are behind Linturi, fake fertilizer scandal. And I want to ask the president, please, you come from agricultural community, the Kalenjins. The Kalenjins and Rift Valley has been the bread basket of this country. Please let us not condemn them to poverty. Let us not even think they are your own men or they are your kinsmen and women, so you can mistreat them. Any suffering that has been put on any Kenyan, all Kenyans suffer because we are so connected. I live in Nairobi. My home is Siaya. Whenever I leave Nairobi, when I reach Kijabe, I buy maize there. When I come to Londiani, I buy maize, I buy carrots, I buy Irish potatoes, I buy tomatoes, I buy onions. I take them to Siaya. And they like enjoying them. Every time they call and tell me, Professor, do not pass Londiani without bringing for us the food from Londiani. So the survival of the Kalenjin farmers is equally important to me. And let us not trivialize it or tribalize it. The issue is that those people are suffering real suffering. And let us not take advantage of them because we believe that even if you give them fake fertilizer, they'll still vote for you. Mount Kenya has been the manufacturer and the producers of food in Kenya. In fact, the Mau Roads was meant to feed this country. That connects us from Mount Kenya, Kilimambogo, you go all the way to Machakos, all to Mombasa. That same Mau Roads brings us to Nairobi. The same Mau Roads connects you to Nyahururu, to Nakuru, to Naivasha, and to Kisumu, and to Marsabit, and to the issues of Meru and Nyeri. So if all that network cannot be able to produce food to feed the nation, it's critical. So I want to ask the president to do for me two favors. Please, let us do something to the culprits that has brought the issue of the fake fertilizer scandal to teach everyone a lesson that you are serious about running this country rightly. Secondly, I want to urge the president that let us construct all the Mau Mau roads, because That is the only way on which Mount Kenya can feed the whole nation. Because Nairobi, no one is planting. Nairobi land is expensive. You cannot plant maize in the CBD. But the people eating the CBD must get maize from Maua. They must get their maize, if you like, from Nyandarua, from Muranga, from Tetu. They must get their maize from Nyeri. They must get their sources of food like potatoes, onions, tomatoes, all those nice fruits we eat from Mount Kenya to come from there. The Aberdare region, all that Aberdare region, which is very fertile, which has water and the rest, we don't have such a place in Nairobi. So we want to ensure that we protect every Kenyan so that all Kenyans can be safe. Remember what? No one is safe until all of us are safe. So let us protect everybody. Everybody in Nakuru, they should have their network. Let us give them the right thing. So we also want to ask the president, it is not a must that Linturi must be a minister. You must, if you love Mount Kenya, if you love the people of Meru, pick the best and brightest from Meru to lead in your government so that Meru can shine. The same thing I ask you of Kikuyus. You have some ministers from Mount Kenya. They are not the best and brightest. We have the best and brightest of Mount Kenya who are actually doing almost nothing. But there are some people who are actually good for nothing and they are in your government. Want you to bring them on board. The other day I was in Rwanda. I was talking to very senior officials in Rwanda. And I found something very interesting. And the analysis is that Rwanda is an economy ahead of the people. Meaning that the great vision that has been brought together there by Paul Kagame has been to paint the economic blueprint for Rwanda in a way that can take Rwanda very far. But what now they have to deal with is how can they develop their human resource to catch up with the vision that has been put together by Paul Kagame. But in Kenya, Kenya is a state whereby the people, the human resource capital, is ahead of the economy. The economy of Kenya, you can almost not know where it is going. Vision 2030 was killed. If you talk about midterm plan 4, has seemed to have confused the Vision 2030, which is now working on bottom-up economic agenda, which is completely hogwash because there's no such a thing called bottom-up, because there's no author, there's no publisher, there's nothing. But for prosperity, Mr. President, paint the picture where you want to take Kenya, because we are not very clear where you want to take Kenya. And if you feel you can't do it, leave it to us, because we know where Kenya needs to be. So Kenya is an economy which is behind the people. We have highly qualified people who cannot get a job, an economy that cannot employ these highly qualified people. It means that we need to have a vision that can be able to craft a vision that can be able to bring out an economy that can employ these highly qualified people. But if you continue whereby people are highly educated, highly qualified, but the economy cannot employ them, now you're telling them to go outside the country, then it means that actually we are missing the point here. What we want is that we want to build an economy that can accommodate any competence we are building. Education is among the highest spenders in the budget. How can we not have an economy that can employ the people we are educating? During your time as a Minister for Education, this is the time we had too many universities. Why are these universities producing many graduates that cannot get employed? So we want to find a balance between the economy and the quality of the human resource we are developing so that we can continue shaping our education to service our economy. Not that we are educating people for the sake of them paying for you money on e-citizen without understanding after they've paid for you money on e-citizen, what do they get to work on? Can they get employed? Are you building an economy that can accommodate them? Or you want to build an economy and tell them to go outside the country? Or you are building an economy that will make them slaves in their own country? So these are tough questions we need to ask. The question should not just be about Linturi. The question is that this country do not lack economic capital, but this country lacks in a big way spiritual capital. So